Hello and welcome to UC Today. We are live at ISE in Barcelona and I am delighted to be joined by Vera Aiken, Ethics Fellow at the Turing Institute. Vera, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Very pleased to be here. So busy.
It's very busy. Well, I was going to ask, how's your conference going so far, but I understand you've just arrived, so...
I've just
Yes.
well,
Well, could you please tell us a bit about yourself, Vera, and the work you do at the Turing Institute?
Yeah, so I'm an ethics fellow at the Alan Turing Institute. The Turing Institute is the UK's National Institute for AI and Data Science. So my work looks at ethical and social considerations around AI and data science. I'm particularly looking at emerging policy and regulatory frameworks and how they can address the risks of AI, but also how we can develop responsible design, development, deployment practices to ensure that we can really capitalise on the possibilities and realise the benefits of innovation in this area.
Perfect. And understand that your talk at the conference as a guest speaker is about AI and its use and responsible use in learning and education. Can you please give us some detail on that, please?
I'm going to be talking about edtech. So that's uses of technology within education, and particularly the ways that AI might be used in education contexts. Thinking about both all the way from primary schools, secondary school up to colleges and universities, and how AI might be used in those contexts. We've seen a lot of excitement over the last year in advances with generative AI and how generative AI might be used across education. I think we've seen a lot of experimentation, but it's important to really take time to think about how these technologies can be used responsibly, and how we can use them in ways that really add value and don't present risks to learners and to education.
Perfect. I was wondering, could you please give some practical use cases of AI in a learning environment or a classroom or in the higher education or across all levels, please?
Yeah, we're seeing there's lots and lots of examples. Everything from virtual tutors, online tutors, to personalised learning platforms that track learners' attainment and provide personalised lesson plans or learning plans for learners, and then to more kind of behind the scenes things, so planning and delivery of education, developing lesson plans, report writing. In some cases it can be used in some forms of marking or grading of assignments. But in all of these areas, we have to be really, really careful about how it is deployed. And there are real risks that if these technologies are deployed rapidly or kind of swept up with all this hype and excitement around generative AI, they could actually have really detrimental effects in education. So it's really important that we focus on how to develop these systems responsibly and to ensure that we're really using technology to address existing problems and not just putting exciting new technology into learning environments without really understanding what its impacts might be.
Great, and I think it touched on there is about the education of the education in a way. It's almost like a lot of the people you'll be working with they might not be naturally tech savvy, and it's all the education to drive adoption in a responsible manner. What would that process look like? I know they have induction days, for example, where they are teaching teachers about use of AI in classroom and marking, etc. What sort of processes are currently in place to on the education side of things for the teachers, etc.?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely crucial. At the moment, we know that there are lots of teachers who are experimenting with using systems like ChatGPT, using generative AI systems, but not necessarily with guidance in place or with an understanding of the limitations and the risks that those technologies bring. And I think that's absolutely crucial. There needs to be a good understanding of the limitations of these technologies, recognizing that they can potentially produce biased or harmful outputs, that they can lead to misrepresentation, particularly of minoritized groups in outputs. They have significant limitations and they shouldn't be relied on for factual accuracy. And we also need to think really carefully about the ways that integrating these systems into learning experiences is building on particular business models. Very often a big part of that is the collecting and processing of learners' data. We need to think really carefully about the privacy implications, about the consent mechanisms that need to be in place around that. And all of this needs to be in the front of mind when we're making decisions about how these technologies might be implemented into learning environments. And I think definitely for educators as well as for learners of all ages. I do a lot of work with primary school children, so like 8 to 12-year-olds. And at all ages, we need learners to be learning not just what AI is and how it might be used, but to think critically about it, to ask critical questions and to understand its limitations, understand its risks, so that we can make informed choices about the extent to which we want to engage with these technologies.
And two last questions, if that's okay. I think it's really interesting. Like last year, AI became the big buzzword of 2023. Various different dictionaries had it, even though it's an acronym. That's an entirely different topic. But they had it as their word of the year, and it exploded. But it was still, I guess, to a lot of maybe people who aren't as dialed in, it was still quite an abstract concept. Unless people were mechanically using ChatGPT regularly, or they were signed up to Copilot, etc. But I feel like 2024 is looking to be one where they actually, practical terms, it's going to go from abstract to something that means tangible to people. Is that something that you're recognizing is going to have a real tangible uses for people across all different industries, including education?
Well, I hope so. I hope that 2024 is a year that we have a bit more realism about AI. And it's also important to say, like, AI is not something new. It didn't come from nowhere. AI has been integrated into our lives for a long time. Generative AI is what all the hype has been about over the last year, and that's just one form of AI. But yeah, a lot of the kind of reporting, a lot of public interest around AI and generative AI has been with a lot of sensationalism and a lot of hype. And that's led to this kind of rush to deploy it across all sectors, across all industries, and experimentation without really fully anticipating what the risks of that might be. I think over the last year, we've also seen a lot of realization that actually these systems can't deliver a lot of the things people hope they might deliver. So I think, 2024 is the year where maybe things come back down to earth a little bit, and we start to think about, like, okay, well, is this actually offering a solution to a problem? Does it actually address a need? Does it actually add value? And those should be the first questions that we're addressing when we think about deploying a new technology. Not deploying the technology for the sake of the technology, but actually, is this going to add value? Does it actually help?
Wonderful. And I guess, like, one final question: what would you say, if you could predict what AI might look like in 3, 4, 5 years from now, not in education, but across working environments in general, what do you think that would look like? And I realize that's quite a big, maybe ambitious question, but I'm quite curious to get your expertise on it.
Yeah, well, I guess what I hope it looks like, is that we're not excited about AI anymore. That it's just fairly mundane systems in the background that help humans in their day-to-day lives, in their working lives. And if we think of AI in that way, these are essentially computer programs. They're programmed to do particular tasks. They can be very, very helpful, particularly at things like processing complex information, complex data. That can be really, really valuable, and that can improve efficiencies. It can add real value. But that's what it does, and from there it should complement human decision making. It should help humans to make decisions or to make good judgments, but not to ever be used to make the decisions for itself. It should complement human problem solving, human creativity, human skills, and I think in that way, if we approach AI in that way, then it's something that can help humans to flourish. Right? It can help us in our lives and in our work. And then the value should be on the human skills and the human capacities, rather than having all this kind of hype and excitement and sensationalism around AI, as though AI itself can solve all the problems.
Wonderful. Well, I think that's what we've got time for, unfortunately. But thank you very much for speaking to me, and best of luck for the rest of the conference and for your talk.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And if you enjoyed this, please give us a like and share on social media, and we'll see you next time. I've been Kieran Devlin of UC Today, live at ISE Barcelona. Thanks for watching.